As I have said, I have a disability. I talked about the hip disability. I've had 2 hip replacements on the same hip, and I walk with a very distinguishable limp. That I work with a very terrific organization, SILC, South Saskatchewan Independent Living. They have terrific people work there to help people. I feel so fortunate to be working with these people. My disability, as I've said, is physical. I can work through it. I can still walk with a limp, but I can still walk. There are many people who can't. They're in wheelchairs, walkers, etc. They haven't given up. They've continued on with their lives. And they work hard. With a disability, at times, I think the rest of society wants to shun you. Look at that gimp. I've been called a gimp. I've been called a cripple. And I've been called other names. I rarely retaliate anymore because fighting is a thing of the past, and I would probably lose and get hurt more. And even fighting with my tongue and arguing with these people doesn't seem like the thing to do. Some of the things that Silk has taught me are to work through any of the disability. I realize I can't do what I did 10 years ago. I have trouble going up more than 2 flights of stairs anymore. I can't walk as far. I love walking. I can't walk as far as I used to. I try. It's very icy today. I shuffle along like a very old person. These are all things that perhaps having a disability have taught me to do. Where I'm going with this story is just because people maybe have either a physical or a mental disability or more challenged, we aren't useless to society. We can still be very useful and do qualified work. I've turned it to tutoring. There are many people that I've met at Silk who do terrific paintings and artwork. Some of them cook. Some of them bake. Some of them drive for a living. Some of them have been shunned and pushed into a corner. Those are the people that I feel very, very sorry for. My heart goes out to them with huge empathy. I think we all have to realize that we have a very short lifespan on Earth. We have to make the best of it. We have to try. We have to work hard and do to the best of our ability what we're here for. I still don't really know what I'm here for. I mined up north, came to Regina, worked in the estimating for construction career for many years, which I liked. Now I'm teaching and tutoring, which I find much more rewarding. Now I'm getting into the spoken word, which is something I've always sort of wanted to do, but I thought in my younger years, you don't do that. You work hard, you're a farmer, you're a miner, you're a janitor, you're a lawyer. You don't tell stories for a living. Who does that? Maybe those people in Hollywood, but what's Hollywood? But now I found I really, really do enjoy this, talking about life. I think I can pretty much talk about anything, which is very interesting. Makes me happy telling stories. talking about people with a disability from Silk. I've met many people, which I've said, that shouldn't be shunned, that should be able to get out and tell their story. And down the road, I want to tell their story. I want to talk about the person with a disability who can bake a cake, who can drive a car, who can shovel a road. So let's not just forget about these people. The government sometimes does that. I know. If I just lived on what the government told us they'd give us, it might be good for me. I'd probably lose a lot of weight because I wouldn't have much money to buy food. But I do have the ability to work. I enjoy working. And so does a lot of these other people I've met at Silk. They're all independent. They want their life, and I think they deserve to have a life. I don't, again, want to speak much more on that. Once I get this job launched, which the name of it will be, well, it's not a job, it's a career, spoken word performing, will be Life is Like a Dream. Hi, I'm back. I'm going to talk on a couple more little quick topics for the day. I think I'll talk about perhaps growing up in a small town in the 70s, 60s, 70s. It was much different than today. You knew everyone. I believe Churchbridge was just 300, 400, 500 people at that time. My parents would leave me on the street, and I would meet other kids my age, and we'd run around, ride our bikes, run in the park, play soccer, play ball. We'd be out all day. And our parents never worried about us. We didn't have internet. We didn't have cell phones. We had 2 channels on television. Linus Westberg, Jerry Pepler. They were famous. Small town Yorkton. But they were in the radio station, television station. They were celebrities to us. We made our own fun. We rode our bikes. We played ball. We played lawn hockey. Played football. We hit rocks with bats. You kicked rocks. The 3 or 4 big things to my parents, and I think everyone else's parents in small town Churchbridge at that time, were family, church. It was very big in my family, community, and fellowship. Being together with other people. Growing up on a farm, we had cattle, pigs, chickens. I became a member of the 4-H. Ray Breen was a mentor. He was a farmer. But Ray Breen taught me a lot of things. I was in the beef club for 10 or 11 years, I think. I always had a steer in the club every year. You have your achievement days. Throughout the winter, you'd go see everyone else's steer. And you'd see these boys and girls all week in school and become friends with them, and then you're in the 4-H club, you get closer. It's just another way to tie together. Sports. You either played baseball or hockey. Soccer wasn't big at that time. You traveled. You had inter-rivalries with other towns. You hated Langeberg with a passion. Estrazy was okay. Brenbury was okay. Didn't really like Saltcoats either. But it was a far, far different time. Church. My mother in particular was a very church-going lady. She made sure I went every Sunday. And also went to get confirmed. A lot of these things, I believe, have made me the person I am today. I will admit, I perhaps don't go to church at all. I'm not saying I don't believe in God. I'm just not a practicing Christian right now. But I think what I learned from many different pastors have stuck with me. And all people, Ray Breen, Gordon Rathgaber was a very big influence on everyone my age. He's a caretaker in the church bridge arena. Everybody knew who Gordon was. I don't know how many thousands of pairs of skates Gordon tied. Just a terrific man. And as I got older, I enjoyed. My mother and Gordon ended up in the same care home for many years. And when I go to visit my mother, I'd always make time to visit Gordon as well. He was a terrific man. Many people from my past taught me so much. And when you're young, you don't realize that. But as I've gotten older, I've thought about what people have taught me and tried to teach me. And I like to thank them all. I can't thank them all individually, but perhaps through the media, I can thank them, their children. Many of these people have passed on who were my mentors. But I know I can thank their children just for making us all a better person. If you had nowhere to eat or sleep, you always had a bed and a meal in small town Saskatchewan in the 60s and 70s. I think for that part, that's pretty much all I have to say for today. I may tell a couple more little quick things before I call it a day. I talked about tutoring a little bit. These people have come from all over the world to Canada to try and better themselves. And I'm proud to say I'm one of the people that helps them better themselves through teaching them better English. Not only English, but to be a Canadian. Have the maple leaf in your heart. Never forget where you come from, but have the maple leaf in your heart. Canadians are welcoming people. I think we want them to be proud of Canada the way we are. Sometimes it's hard to, but I'm still a very, very proud Canadian. I tell these new Canadians, lots of them have ran for their lives to get to Canada. Some of them haven't. It's just been a transition. But they can't speak any English when they get here. And English is a very hard language to learn. So I tell them, hey, work hard at it, but have fun. I will help them. So will many and many other people try and help them. I talk about food. Everyone likes to eat. So in Canada, we all know what a hamburger is. If you come from China or Vietnam or Israel or Russia, maybe you don't know what a hamburger is. I talk about that. Festivals, music. Music is the one thing everyone seems to know. They get very enlightened when you talk about music. Happy, makes you want to party. So that's another thing that I use very much in my lessons. I talk about music. Talk about family. Everyone has families. Unfortunately, some people do want to forget their past, and that means forgetting their families. I will never forget my family. I think for today, that's all I'm going to talk about. As I said, I am in the process of starting a YouTube page, putting more on my Facebook page. I am going to build a web page, try and turn this into a bit of a career, and as someone once said, chase the almighty dollar. It's fun, something I want to do, and help people. As I said, I can speak about just about anything. I'm speaking at a library in 2 weeks. They gave me topics to speak on. If I was going to pick topics, I wouldn't pick any of them. But they've given me a couple months to research them, and it will be no problem. I'll speak about those topics. And it'll be fun. So for today, everybody, have a good time. It's the first time I've done this. I'm going to do it many more times, I hope. Stay safe. We'll get through COVID, as I've heard you're probably getting sick of people saying that. But I think things are getting better. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm not. But we all have to stick together in this. That's, I think, all I have to say for today. So everyone have a great time. Thank you. I'm Daryl Sauser. Life is like a dream, and keep dreaming.